The crew of the 1391 are about to find out that in space there's always a full moon. Wolf Moon by David Irons. Out now.
Hello everyone and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John and welcome to the first episode of a new series, a semi-regular series that I'm going to be doing called Werewolf Wednesday. And it is exactly what it says it is. I'll be reviewing werewolf books, novels, novellas, short stories if I can find them, werewolf movies if I can find them or take the time to watch them because I haven't been watching a lot of TV or movies lately. Anyway, whatever I can do. If it has to do with werewolves, I'm going to try to put it on here, okay? So that being said, the first thing I'm going to do today is to review the brand new. This book hasn't been out long at all. In fact, I'm actually the first person to review it on Goodreads and Amazon. So I'm going to see if I'm the first to review it here on YouTube, all right? So that being said, this is Wolf Moon by David Irons. So I'm going to read the synopsis and then I'll give you my thoughts on it, like always. While on an illegal deep space silver ore mining mission, the crew of the McCrae 1391 investigates a mysterious distress signal. Landing on a synthetically atmosphered asteroid on the dark side of the moon, they discover a jettisoned escape pod, bringing back a lone survivor who incubates an awful secret. When exposed to the moon's lunar rays, an ancient evil is reborn to stalk and pick off the crew one by one. Can Captain Jennifer Hadley overcome the ghost of her past to stop the beast? Will muscle-bound grunts Cade Chiarella and Jones Easterbrook turn the creature into a living room rug? Will Playboy mining expert Shane Conway finally do something useful to stop the monster? Can engineer Kyle Norrington's knowledge of 20th century horror cinema save them all? No matter how their night of terror ends, there is one thing they will never forget. In space, there's always a full moon. All right, so the first thing I'm going to say is let's take a look at this cover. This cover is awesome. It is made to resemble one of those old cheesy 1980s horror movie video cassette boxes, VHS boxes. You got everything going on here. You got 2-day rental up here. You got horror. It's a horror. It lets you know action, adventure, science fiction, all three genres right there. And if you look on the back, be kind. Please rewind. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? All right, then you got here. This video cassette will melt if left in the car or in the sun. Man, you can't, this is just, the cover alone is just awesome. I love this cover. And I thought to myself, I said, this book has got to live up to the cover. That's what it's got to do. Got to move my chair a little bit. I'm off camera a little bit. There we go. Anyway, this book, it's got to live up to the cover. All right? And when I say that, I'm going to go back in history. I'm going to go back in time a little bit. Let's do a little bit of go back in time music. Okay, there we go. All right, so you remember you used to go to the video store? And I'm not talking about Blockbuster Video. I'm talking about your mom and pop video stores, man. You go back, they had a horror section, and they had these horror movies and these big VHS boxes, and they had the cheesiest cover art, man, but it was just awesome. And you'd pick out 2 or 3 of them, and you probably picked them out just for the basis of the cover art alone. Okay, so that being said, there was this other thing. So if a movie was popular, like Aliens or The Fly or what's another one I can think of? The Terminator, something like that, there was always going to be a B-movie ripoff of it. All right? I can't think of the movies right off my head, but all right, okay, The Terminator, I think you had Cyborg. Then for Aliens, you had, I can't remember exactly what. Anyway, this book is a B-movie ripoff of those kind of movies. It is a B-movie ripoff of Aliens. If you want to call this movie Armageddon with werewolves, you can call it that, because that's what it is. If you want to call this movie Aliens with werewolves, you can call it that, because that's what it is. If you want to call it, I don't know. Let me think. I'm thinking real hard here. Yeah. If you want to call it, oh God, I'm trying to think. Just any, just any sci-fi movie, monster movie, or whatever with werewolves that didn't have werewolves in it before. That is this book. That is it. Wolf Moon. I mean, this movie, you could literally, it reads like a B movie VHS horror movie. That's exactly what it reads like. In fact, this movie, I could see every scene in my mind. I can't do that with a lot of books, but I could do that in my head, man. It was just awesome, and it's like, I mean, this thing, I was so convinced, I was literally so convinced that I was watching an old VHS horror movie instead of reading a book, a novella. It's short, 142 pages. You might as well call it a novella. That's okay. I mean, I was so convinced, I almost took this thing to Blockbuster, or I tried to find a video store to return it to, but there are none. I hate that, man. And I think the only Blockbuster is in Alaska. The only remaining, if it's still there even, I mean, a moose might have ate it or something. I don't know. But, that's it, just it. This book, it reads like a B-movie horror flick. And there are awesome references to the old movies of the 80s and stuff. There's references to, well, even before that, there's references to the Wolfman. There's references to Aliens. There's references to Alien. There's references to Police Academy. Some of the names, the people's names in this book are references to B movies, not just horror sci-fi, but just B movies of the VHS 80s. All right, the best way to sum this book up is and it's just so much fun. The werewolf is awesome in this book. I mean, he is just a force to be reckoned with. The ending is so satisfying. I mean, you can't have a cheesy B-movie, horror movie, sci-fi adventure movie rip-off of a A-list movie without having a satisfying ending. And this one has a hell of a satisfying ending, man. It's just awesome. To best sum this book up, it is ludicrous. It is ridiculous, and it is freaking awesome. Love this book. 5 stars. Wolf Moon. Highly recommended. Check it out. It's on Kindle. It's on, of course, you can read it here. One thing I will say, and this is something the author did tell me, is that some of the copies of the paperback edition, the first chapter of the book, Amazon screwed it up. I don't know what they did, but they screwed up the printing or something, or the publisher or whatever screwed up the printing, and then Amazon didn't catch it. I was lucky enough to get the copy that was just right, because I've also got the Kindle copy, and I wrote David Irons and asked him, I said, hey, is the Kindle copy, is it correct? And he said yes, and I said okay, and I compared the two of them, and this copy is absolutely fine also. But don't let that deter you, because he did say that you can read the first chapter of the book free on Amazon if you do get a screwed up copy. But yeah, definite 5 stars, Wolf Moon. Check it out. Highly recommended. That's going to do it for the first episode of Werewolf Wednesday. Thank you for watching. Rawr! That wasn't a good werewolf thing. That was a horrible werewolf. That was a horrible werewolf. I shouldn't have done that. That was just ridiculous. Anyway, bye guys.